take long, although they don't actually have an image on the bomb itself. Blink is able to find one. Same with Dilly. Same with Plink once again for a nice 3K onto Sir Nugget, finishing off the round and giving Hobart the much-needed first win round onto their pistols, going now into the small buy as they move closer and closer to their bonus round. Other than that, though, Brebeuf trying their best to try and find a way through the defenses, but Hobart definitely played that one very well. They used their util incredibly well, getting through back onto site in general. They played that retake just very well. But now from Brebeuf, doesn't seem like they're going for any kind of a buy here, just going for a general save, but they also don't have any shields, which is going to be a little bit of a pain for that Marshall, which is likely holding down B long, although I don't necessarily know exactly where it is. But we'll see who ends up falling first, and it is going to be Sir Nugget as Dilly takes them out. The next one to fall is going to be Abyss as Plink takes them out, and now the remaining members of Brebeuf are trying their best to wrap back around towards A, but a majority of the Hobart team is just kind of searching for them, but they do have spike down, so Brebeuf is going to have to come to them if they want to get that spike down and have a chance at winning this round. But as they're just wrapping slowly closer and closer to Art and moving back onto site themselves, they do get spotted. Nothing comes of it as JXST is able to take out Noodleman, and now they slowly move out and try to find their way towards the spike itself, but they are going to be met with a bit of resistance from the Hobart team in either direction that they decide to find them in. So right now, as they peek this corner looking for one, don't end up finding anything, get sent to 3 health. Smoke is going to go down, 45 seconds left on the clock, and they've got to fight past the 3-stack that is the Hobart team at this moment. And that smoke does allow for another one to try and wrap around, get through the smoke itself, but it seems like the Hobart team is just slowly moving back towards Art here, and the rest of them are just holding down this spawn door here. Dilly's able to find one with the thorns. Chill for Real finds one under Rusty Boy. Plink returns the favor onto Chill for Real, but JXST is able to kill Plink as well, giving themselves a rifle to work with, but they do still have that spike down, and with only 12 seconds left, it's basically impossible for the Omen to win this round, because even if he does end up killing the Vise here, they're not going to be able to get to site in time, and so we're going to see what happens. They are able to find it, dealing with a nice 3K, giving Hobart another win on the board. See what they're able to do as they move into the bonus here. Brebeuf is most likely going to have all of their rifles at their disposal at this point, and while they did end up taking 3 kills away from the 3 deaths away from the Hobart team, they do still have the much-needed currency to try and buy back a little bit of things to counteract Brebeuf, so they're not completely outgunned, but we will see what ends up happening here. Seems like Brebeuf is going for closer something to like an A push, which is defended by the Hobart 3-stack, but at the current moment, the rest of the team is just generally going to be met with a 3 or 2-stack most of the time, because it's not really a much needed site to hold when you do only have 2 sites to hold. So we're going to see what ends up happening here. The most of them are wrapped around that A main door there, just trying to find their way through, but the smoke is going to go ahead and block them just a little bit here. Seems like they're going for a bit of a reflank here. The KJ is going to stay, but the rest of the team is moving most likely back towards mid, possibly towards B, as the Hobart team slowly wraps back around and decides to try and wait to see if they hear any noise. The KJ, being the only one to make noise, could possibly give a false disposition that they are there. The turret now falls, and the rest of the Brebeuf team is now slowly encroaching on B, Astra being the only one there to defend that one, but I'm expecting the rest of the Hobart team to fall back to that B site once the Astra hears some sort of noise, because they are being very loud, and there goes the rest of the Hobart team trying to stun this for as long as they can. A nice shot from that Marshall puts the Sky in a bit of a spot, but Chill for Real is able to take out one. The rest of the team now slowly moving back towards it. They're going to try their best to get into this. That dog not able to find anything. They are flashed. You see the Yoru try to make something happen, but unfortunately nothing comes of it. Abyss is trying to find something. Dilly able to return the favor, but is killed by Chill for Real as well. And now left with a 4v1 is Reyna to try and make anything happen at all. They do get a hit, but not a headshot, which does secure Brebeuf that round, although the Hobart was able to take 1 rifle away from them, which does hurt their eco just a little bit, but not as much as if they would have won that bonus round in general. And now we're back to something closer to an even match between these two in terms of the economy. Now closing in onto another attack round. We're going to go ahead and see where they decide to hit again. It seems like another 5-stack towards the A site. Hobart probably expecting them to do something similar to last round, or possibly just hit the site in general, but while it is stacked relatively in their favor, they do have the rest of their team now watching for those re-attempts on the site itself, that they decide to go for B instead. And Astra playing a little bit of a different position on B, trying to hear them a little bit sooner, giving Hobart more time to wrap back around. But at the current moment, Hobart does seem to have them trapped in this little corridor. JhenFN is able to find one onto Dilly. We're going to see if anybody can find anything else, but at the current moment, it doesn't look like it. They try to find any kind of a kill, but no. Away goes Brebeuf, and they are wrapping back around. Reyna slowly moving back into the flank position. I don't know if they realize that she's there. She did go quite sneakily, but they've got to figure out soon enough rather than later, because the rest of the Brebeuf team is slowly going to work around that flank and hopefully figure out what the plan is in general and how to get away from it. We do see the Yoru teleport out, but is met by the Reyna on the flank. Noodleman is able to take a kill onto JhenFN as well, and now the rest of the team is slowly just moving out and in between both of these sites. They're kind of just collapsing a little bit here, but Astra is still at the ready to try and take out one. Isn't able to find it, but does get quite a bit of damage out. Finds one onto the Omen, finds two onto the KJ. Can they find more? Is blinded, has 4 bullets left, but is taken out by JhenFN. Now it is a 2v2. Can they find any more? JhenFN sitting on the back of the site here, while the rest of the Hobart team is slowly just holding this spike down, hoping that they don't have any space to make room with it. Dog is going to try and find anything, but it is taken out pretty early on. Empress is at the ready from both sides, but I don't know if anything is going to be popped. They do end to get Spike away from the team here. Nobody seems to be holding that angle, and they are going to be pulled away from it. They don't find anything, and Jalen finishes off the round with a nice 4K for the Brebeuf team, bringing the score to 2-2. That's a lot of twos. Into a bit of a replay here. While WCE wasn't able to find anybody immediately, them expecting them to wrap around the other side did give them the much needed time to try and wrap back and just go fight them at their face again. Take out 2 wasn't enough to win them the round, but it was a good attempt at getting them a little bit more money and hurting the Brebeuf eco just a little bit more. But at the current moment, it does seem like Hobart is going to go for a little bit of a save compared to the Brebeuf full buy, and if they're able to take any rifles away, that would be what Hobart is aiming to do. JhenFN is able to find one, although at the cost of a lot of their health, and the rest of the team is now slowly backing up as the Brebeuf team slowly moves forward towards A main. Waiting for some of the util to be popped. The Astra Smoke is still holding A main. A majority of the Hobart team is in a position to try and defend against either a reattempted site or a fake to a different site, so anybody can rotate whenever they feel like it. Astra, once again, still holding down that B site with a lot of stars at the ready. Seems like a majority of the Brebeuf team is holding down mid instead, moving closer and closer to Art here, and they aren't making any noise, which could mean a good or bad timing, but that wall is there to give attention to their push, possibly through Art. They could pass it all at once, or they could just decide to go somewhere else. It seems like they are going to go somewhere else, most likely going to be doors, so we'll see what they end up doing here. It seems like, yes, it is going to be doors, although they do have one that they have to worry about from that, and the rest are closing in as they slowly hear noise and most likely give the call out that they're headed towards B with only 30 seconds left. So the rest of the team now slowly moving that way. They do have 5 still alive compared to the 4, but the Vice could just use her ult to try and shut them down. Astra at the ready to try and take anybody out. Are they able to find one? No. JhenFN is able to take them out quickly, and now the rest of the team is slowly moving around to try and regroup back on, but they do only have 3 members left. Can they take anybody out at all? Let's see what happens as we move on to site here. 2 of them are holding back B long, and the rest of them are slowly trying to hold site from the back site. We see the Dog not able to find anything, but they know that they're back there. They just don't know how many. At the current moment, they don't really have too many weapons at their disposal, and so they've got to try and figure out what they want to work with. One does indeed go for the drop, but it's taken out by JhenFN, and the rest of them are trying to now take the rest of site, but nothing is really coming of it, and with only 5 health left, it's unlikely they're going to make anything happen, and yes, Sir Nugget is able to take them out, giving Brebeuf the advantage over the top of them with the 3-2 lead. And next up on the chopping block seems to be yet another A push / fake. Brebeuf seems to be loving doing this so far. They just try to see who's all on A, or maybe they're just trying to draw a rotate around from the Hobart side. But at this point, I'm expecting that Hobart is going to try and expect them to do that and probably only stack it with 1 person. But we shall see what they end up doing as the round gets to completion here, or the pre-round gets to completion. So we'll see what ends up happening. But a lot of ults still on the table. We do see that they notice them with the arc rows, but nothing really comes of it. No flashes are found, and we see the ult come out from Sky as well, but the smoke is going to delay them a little bit. We do see them push out fast as they can, but Noodleman has taken one out, same with Dilly, and so now that's going to stop the push from Brebeuf as much as they can. We do see one try to be taken out. Yes, Sir Nugget is able to find it onto Plink, and now the rest of them are just slowly moving forward and backwards, trying to find as much room to move as they can. We do see that Sir Nugget and the Omen are both trapped by that Fade utility at this moment, which does, I believe, let them know that they are trapped based on the sound cue that it makes. Omen having ult and the spike means that he can do this. Oh, the issue is that they're going to have to be contested generally by the Astra, which happens right now, taking them out. Spike is down, and the rest of the team is going to have to rotate back around, but are they going to check their corners? Doesn't seem like it. Nope. Now we just play the waiting game. Is anybody else going to follow? Nope. Noodleman takes him out, and now it's just KJ left to her own devices as she sits down long and spots the Astra in the corner there, but nothing really comes of it. That smoke is going to go down to try and block her off. She does have ult closing in, but she doesn't have spike to try and do anything with it. And with 22 seconds left on the clock and not much to do, Rusty Boy is able to tie up the match once again at 3-3. Moving forward once again into the next round here, they are sitting closer towards spawn. Doesn't really seem to have been decided what point or what map they want to, excuse me, what objective area they want to move towards or what point they want to move towards, but it seems like they finally decided, let's stop doing A, let's try to go for a B take. Now they're moving closer that way, while the rest of Hobart is expecting them to do that A push once again, but we will see what happens. Without the Astra on B this time and it replaced with the Yoru, not going to have too many smokes to work with to slow them down, but I am certain that they are going to be spotted relatively early simply because of how much noise they're making as they run down. And I'm expecting the rest of the team to slowly rotate around as they hear everybody move back. And I'm expecting also, yep, here comes the KJ ult to slow them down, just try and give them sight. Although, with the Yoru having teleport, there it goes. He is going to teleport out back to safety, which does give them sight, but they're not using too much time of it, and the spike is going to go down here shortly, but they didn't get all the way into sight that they wanted to, and now the rest of Hobart can slowly move back onto sight here. JhenFN finds one. Can they find more? Yes, they find two. Can they find three? That is the question to be answered. Not just yet. The rest of the Hobart team is slowly trying to find their way onto sight here. They don't find anything just yet, and they're slowly just moving back around. So Nugget is able to find one onto Plink through the smoke, and the rest of them trying their best to contest this. JhenFN finds one, and now it is just the Astra remaining. Can they find the majority? Do they know where she is, more or less? Astra's got some decent timing here as the rest of them slowly move back, but the timing is not in her favor anymore. We see the KJ now put in a spot where she can play safe, and the rest of them can wrap back around. Unfortunate for the Astra there. The timing was on her side and then went away, but now that brings Brebeuf to 4-3, so we will certainly see if this goes back and forth repeatedly, although at the current moment, Brebeuf has the eco in their complete favor compared to Hobart, who unfortunately does not, because they just haven't been winning too many rounds in a row, which gives Brebeuf a huge advantage over top of them, because while Hobart has won a round previously, they just didn't have the eco to survive a lost round, and right now they are going to go into a bit of a force compared, or possibly a buy for next compared to the Brebeuf full buy. So we will see what happens. It seems like Brebeuf going for more of a default here. They do have the spike, but a lot of them playing towards mid, one making noise towards A, and it seems like they're probably going to go towards doors, possibly split off, take some towards doors, take some towards art, but we'll see what ends up happening here. They do have to contest against a lot of the Brebeuf, or against the Hobart side, regardless which way they pick, so we'll see which one they decide to go with. It seems like they picked doors, possibly rotating back around to the doors art connector. Fade is there and waiting, though. Are they going to find the timing? Finds one, but not able to kill the rest, and now the rest of them do know where they are based on the Fade's callouts and on the map ping, so we'll see what ends up, what decision is made in the end here, and which one they will be able to successfully pull off, and which site they will decide to go for. They are going to be held at a cross here. JhenFN finds one, Zero Abyss cleans up two, and now it is a 4v2, although Jet does not have too much health to her name. We do see that one goes, so they do know where WC is at this moment, although they haven't taken them out just yet. We're waiting for the Yoru to try and rotate back around. They still have not taken WCE out of this game just yet. It's possible that they do have the smoke to try and get out of this situation themselves. We'll certainly see what happens here. Yoru doesn't really have all too much to work with, although they do have enough to hopefully try and push onto site themselves. Although right now, Brebeuf is slowly just holding what they can to try and deny them any kind of sight. We do see Yoru able to take down JhenFN very quickly, although Sir Nugget and JXST are able to clean up the rest of the round as well. And it's another round for the Brebeuf team. Continuing on here, we've got ourselves yet another, seems like they're rotating probably towards B, at least that's where the spike seems to be going, maybe closer towards mid as well. We'll see what they end up deciding to go with. Maybe a possible 3-2 split between the attacking side, although at the current moment, Hobart seems to be allowing them to gain a little bit more space than usual at the cost of having them being able to stack sites more conveniently and having those stars able to be stopped, or able to stop the hopeful forward momentum that the Brebeuf team is aiming for. At the current moment, there is a lot that they need to contest with when they choose a path, because either way, they're going to be contested no matter which way they pick, and it just depends on who they're going to be contested by. They, at the current moment, don't know where anybody is, which corners they're hiding in, if they're hiding in corners at all. We do see the Vi is able to find one, tries to get out before the Jet can dash over the wall. They do so indeed, and unfortunately that Reyna just was not checking below her, did not notice that one, although the Flash is also not going to find anybody instead, which gives them no more info, although they do know that at least one of them is taken out, and that dog able to find one in art shows where the rest of the team possibly may be. Now the rest of the Brebeuf team is slowly moving back, slowly seeming to go through mid, back around towards the A site as well, which is contested, so they'll have to fight for it, but they are gaining a lot of ground to work with, and right now Hobart is not really rotating because they haven't heard a lot of noise. They don't have a lot of info, so as JhenFN slowly rotates back around, and a very good spray from the Vise of the Hobart team does give them a lot of room to work with. Do they know where the Reyna is? Do they know where the Fade is? Do they know where the Vise is? That is the question to be answered as they try to pick off side as much as they can, and as the Omen tries to go for a little bit of a flank, he might have timing on his hand. We'll see what ends up happening, but that arsenal is going to be put to use here. We don't see the knives find anything from JhenFN. The rest of them trying to find anything at all. The eye does go down, the second eye goes down, and right now there goes Abyss, and there goes Nugget as well. Just the Omen remaining, does try to go for the blind, but Noodleman able to clean up that round, bringing it to 4 and 5. This is a relatively close game between the two, so we will certainly see what is going to happen when we flip sides, most definitely, but we're not there just yet, so we could possibly see something close to a 6-6 between both teams, which is most likely what Hobart is hoping for, because they seem to have a bit of a more aggressive playstyle with their comp compared to Brebeuf, which seems to just be even across the board compared to what they can do. But again, there are only 3 more rounds left to go as we move into round number 10. So we'll see what happens here, who is able to come out on top. And right now it seems like Sky is the only one holding down A, while the remaining members of Brebeuf slowly try to gain as much space onto B long as they can. The Astra there yet again waiting for it, and the remaining members of Hobart also very close by at the ready when they need to. They try to find anybody. They know the dash is there. They find 1. Can they find 2? They do. Can they find 3? They do. Can they find more? Not just yet. That KJ turret, or sorry, excuse me, that KJ grenade is going to go down, dealing a tiny bit of damage, but Plink is able to find one as well, and now it's just 1 remaining member. Sir Nugget able to take out WCE, but is quickly traded off by Plink, ending this round in Hobart's favor, bringing us to 5 and 5. And a lot of ults are in Hobart's favor at the current moment compared to Brebeuf's, which 2 did just come online from that round, but it is, I believe, only KJ's and Sky's, I think. It's a replay, so I can't see. Who is it? Sky and Reyna. Okay, so Sky's probably going to be used to try and gain intel on where the Hobart team is compared to Reyna's, which again can kind of just be used whenever she feels like it to try and gain a buff to her general combat skills. And right now, Brebeuf is in a bit of a spot in terms of what their eco looks like. If they lose this next round, they might have to go into a bot or a force for last. And if they do lose this one, I doubt they're going to be able to full buy unless they can buy for their teammates. So we'll see what happens here. There are a lot of ults, especially that Yoru one is what I'm expecting to see come out sometime soon to try and gain some intel for their team. But as a majority of the Brebeuf team slowly moves back towards B yet again, we're going to see which one decides to come out soon enough. But as we see Yoru now back off, back towards mid a little bit and towards doors. We see the Killjoy ult come out on the B site, which does alert the rest of the Hobart team to where Brebeuf currently is. Spike is going to go down, but again, they do have a lot of ults to try and return the favor for, and Dilly is able to find one onto JhenFN, and now the rest of them are slowly going to fall as well, as Blink finds one onto JXXT. A good flash is able to secure one onto Chill For Real as well. We see the Yoru ult able to find nothing just yet, but can it finish it off? Yes, Plink finds 3, and Rusty Boy finishes it off. A flawless round for the Hobart team, which brings it to 6-5 and putting Brebeuf in a bit of a spot when it comes to their eco following this next round. And I am absolutely expecting them to go for a force, but I don't think they've got it in the bag enough to hold down a full buy this round based on what I think their eco looked like last round, but we shall certainly see. Actually, no, they can go for not a complete full buy. I don't think they can buy full armor for Chill For Real, but it's very close. So it is a decently even match here, although if the eco did stay the way it was as we switch sides, Hobart would be in a very good spot. Unfortunately, that is not how it works, and so Hobart will just have to use as much eco as they can, which means they get full util, they get full armor, and they get every kind of gun under the sun that they want to pick from. And as we see Brebeuf slowly move back towards B, we're going to see a lot of ults come out here. We see the Sky ult as well as the Dog. The Reyna ults on both sides are popped. The Empress goes out. We try to see what ends up being happened here. Chill For Real is able to get that plant down with the smoke up towards heaven. They're going to try their best to retake this site, but as they slowly push back and away, I'm expecting somebody to die eventually here. They just got to wait for something to pop. We do see that smoke go down. Are they able to find anything just yet? Doesn't seem like it. We're seeing the concussion go out on backside. Blink is able to find one. Sir Nugget returns the favor. There is one backside, but do they know it just yet? No, not just yet. Chill For Real finds one. They haven't turned around to see Chill For Real. Dilly able to take them out finally. Left in a 2v2 right now. We do see the blind come out. They've got to make a play sooner rather than later. They're running out of time. They're able to find one. Just the Omen left. They've got to start defusing. They know where he is. And there it is. And they've secured the round, bringing this one to 7-5 total in Hobart's favor.
Not ready yet.
Now going to go to a pistol round yet again as we flip sides. So now Brebeuf is going to be defending against Hobart's attack. We're going to see what they decide to do here. And while we do, go ahead and look at these beautiful little keyboards and violins and guitars and lutes and lyres and drums and every other instrument under the sun. We're going to see what they decide to do here as they finally switch sides, and they need to make a decision on which site they want to hit. And it seems like at the current moment, Hobart has leaned towards the A site compared to the stack of B from the Brebeuf team. So we're going to see what they end up deciding to pick from on how they want to defend this site. But Hobart does have a decent amount of infiltrating util to try and get in. So as we slowly flip this one around, I'm sure that the Brebeuf team is going to hear them eventually walk towards that site, and they are going to put some stars down, which give them a bit more of an advantage on where they think they're going to attack. Although it could possibly be a bait. They can place those stars from anywhere, but at the current moment, it does seem like they are going to dedicate to a full A push. We see a lot of TPs come out, the dogs, the utils, everything under the sun. Chill For Real is able to find one. Abyss is able to find two. Can they keep it alive? That is the question to be answered. The rest of the Hobart team is going to slowly back up towards A main, past the choke point there. They do still have Spike in their back pocket if they want to try and decide to hit a different site, but at the current moment, it does seem like a lot of the Brebeuf team is not necessarily on site. They do have 3 stacking it compared to the 3 attacking it, but the rest of the Brebeuf team is off site at the current moment, and they do have the turret ready and available, although the rest of the Hobart team seems to have decided to maybe flip around and hit a different site, although at the current moment, they still have yet to figure out what they want to do, so that is the question that they've got to answer. They do have the turret available, and with only 30 seconds left, one is going to be spotted eventually. There it is. They are spotted, which means the rest of the Brebeuf team is going to wrap back around. They've got to make a play right now if they want to get onto site and try to combat this. We do see the flash go out onto one. JhenFN is able to find one onto Plink. Can they keep it alive? That is the question. Jalen finds one, finds two, and Abyss cleans it up, bringing Brebeuf back to 7-6 and winning them the pistol round, which gives them the advantage moving on into the next. Finishing that round off as we move into the next, Hobart likely going to try a different strategy here. Brebeuf most likely going to stick with their guns, try to figure out what worked, what didn't, and work around it in general, just to see if we can counteract a possible different attack plan from the Hobart team. But as they do have the guns to fight against them, and the Brebeuf team, or in the Hobart team does not, it's going to be a relatively quick and easy round for the Brebeuf team if they just play their range, because that classic does not have too much in its back pocket in general. We see now they're slowly moving back around. Are they going to be able to find one? JhenFN finds one. They just go ahead and go for a bit of a regroup back around with their team. Are they able to find anything at all? That's the question. They are kind of slowly around this corner here. A little bit of info gained from the Wraith form, but Plink is able to take them out, which does give them a gun to their name. Although, and Dilly is able to find one on the JXST as well, which gives them a second gun to use. So, although at the current moment they don't actually have the Bulldog from the first. Sir Nugget able to find one flank. Now it's just a simple 3v1, and there goes Brebeuf, able to secure that one quickly, bringing it to 7-7, bringing this one again to a tied game. And now Hobart trying to find out what works and what doesn't. But as we move into the bonus, Hobart is going to have rifles at their disposal to counteract the Brebeuf bonus round, and hopefully they can flawless this one out and take away the eco from Brebeuf. Although regardless of what happens, Brebeuf will have a full buy next round, depending on if they win or lose, and Hobart hoping to win this one as fast as possible with as many lives as possible to try and keep it alive, keep their eco going strong. And that is the question that is going to be answered in shortly. A minute and 35, so we'll see what happens here. Majority of the Hobart side seems to be wrapping closer towards B. The rest of them kind of on the A side, although with the KJ still there, she's got to stay close to her util, and at the current moment, she's got to decide if she wants to recall it and move sites, which does put a timer on it, or if she just wants to hold this. But a lot of the Brebeuf team is there and waiting for the Hobart side, so we'll see what they decide to do here, see if they can find anything at all. Plink is able to find one. The flash goes out, so does the Wraith. Dilly's able to find one as well, bringing this to a 5v3. They've just got to keep the Flawless alive at the current moment, and they will be good. Plink finds one again, and now brings us to a 5v2. They've just got to take one. The Bulldog is able to find a headshot and a kill onto Plink, and now the rest of Hobart is in a 4v2 against the remaining Brebeuf team. They see the gun, unfortunately, able to take Noodleman out, but is returned the favor by WCE, and Dilly cleans out the round as well, bringing this to 8-7, and Hobart is able to take their bonus away quickly and with a relatively simple amount of players still alive, which does give their eco a bit of a boost in the right direction, although at this moment, Brebeuf is now going to be able to buy their own rifles, and we're going to have a relatively even round. Now looking at the map just a little bit here, it seems like Hobart has resorted back to something more of an A push compared to the Brebeuf B hold, or B stack rather. And so we're going to see which one they're able to hold and which one they're able to at least hopefully make it onto site for. They might decide to go for a little bit of a retake onto a different site, or we might see Brebeuf just give them the site in general. But as we see the smoke go out from the Omen, as well as the ult from Vice, they are going to have a lot of room to push out from that flash. Not able to find anything at all, but they are going to lose their gun. Do they know that Abyss is on site? That is the question to be answered at the current moment. It seems like no, but right now they are having planted the bomb, and they're in a good spot to try and get out of this. They got now the Fade in a bit of a pickle. Not sure if they're going to get out of there in time. No, it seems like Abyss is able to find it, though. That smoke being down means that they've got to figure out where bomb is once they hear it being diffused, and with no live pings anymore, they've just got to basically spray and pray, and I don't know if they're going to get it. Doesn't seem like it. No, they are going to get that defuse off, and all the members of the Hobart side are going to fall. An unfortunate thing to happen in Valorant, they did take out the pings from the map. You've got to live ping it yourself, and so if you ping from the map, it doesn't actually show you through walls anymore. You've got to ping it for yourself, like visibly, and then it will stay there afterwards. But pinging on the map means you can't just spray and pray once the spike is down through smoke anymore, and it's much easier for the defending team to defuse at that point if they just get lucky with spray patterns. And now looking more closer at the map itself, we're seeing while the Vise is closing in on A, the rest of the Hobart Valley team seems closing in on B a little bit closer here. They're trying to take B long, but they don't have too much to their name in terms of guns. The Omen going for a little bit of a jump peek, trying to spot as much info as he can for their team. Checks the corner, sees nothing there. The flash is at the ready from Sir Nugget. We see one come out. I'm expecting one to try and go out here. The flash from the Yoru clone also goes out, and the rest of the Hobart team is trying their best to fight this one out. Plink does have a rifle to their name, but not too many of the rest have theirs as well, so they're going to have to fight for this as much as they can. Try to see if they might want to wrap back around. And with Jet in Art, we're going to see if they're able to hold that one for as long as they can. And the rest of the team is slowly wrapping around to see if they can make something happen. That Jet not able to find anything, although that turret is able to get a little bit of info for the Brebeuf team in this current moment. And it seems like they are going to wrap back towards B connector here from Art, or sorry, A connector from Art. They go for a little bit of a flash out. Chill for Real is able to find one. They do get traded out. They find another trade as well, and now Noodleman is trying their best to get out of the KJ grenade. She does fall. Spike is going to be able to be planted here if they get a chance to do so. So Nugget sees one, but not able to take any shots off of it. The spike does go down. We see the dog come out as well. And now it's just the 2 members of Brebeuf versus the 3 of Hobart Valley. And they don't necessarily know where everybody is. They just know where one is. And if JXST is able to find some good timing onto the Hobart Valley team, that might be good for them. But right now they are playing a decent amount of cover at the current moment. We see the dog go out. Not able to find anything, but we do see there goes a flash onto the Omen, so they know where he is. So Nugget finds one. They are traded out by Plink, and now the Omen is spotted, and they know where he is. The teleport does come out, but it doesn't really go anywhere other than like 2 feet in front of him. He's able to find one headshot, but he's running out of time. The Reyna just has to buy time. We do see the defuse slowly go out, but he's got to just stick it or he loses, and Plink is able to secure the 4K and give Hobart Valley the 9-8 lead. Next up on the chopping block, I'm tired. Chopping block is the Hobart Valley attack, once again seeming to lean towards the B side. A timeout is being called from Hobart Valley as well, so we're going to see what ends up happening from that. But at the current moment, it seems like this is a relatively fair match between the 2 Titans as they try to battle it out back and forth and try to hold down the sites for as long as they can on either side that they play. And both sides are doing a fantastic job of doing that. But at the current moment, they just seem to be locked in a stalemate. And this could possibly mean that we go into a possible overtime as well. Unless somebody can slowly find a head to gain on the other. But as we go back and forth, they haven't really strewn too far from being either 2 up or 1 up, and then they trade places, and it's just kind of gone back and forth at this point. But Hobart Valley currently in the lead, and so we'll see what comes of that as we move back into game here very shortly. Other than that, though, they are trying to try something new here, which I like. They haven't really dedicated themselves to attacking one site because it's worked. They've kept the unpredictability at a decent high level, and now we are moving back into game here. Hobart Valley, again, was leaning towards B, now seems to be leaning a little bit closer towards A, with the Brebeuf side slowly only having that 1 KJ to hold it. The rest of them seem to be holding closer to Art and Doors, although as they see the noise go out from that Rose, it's not able to find too much. They do see the Yoru clone go out, but it's likely that it can be deduced as a clone itself. They're trying to get onto site here, but again, one side is now in a eco round, so they don't have too much to work with. And so as Spike does go down, they are kind of trapped. JhenFN is able to find one, but again, they are sort of trapped. They're sandwiched in between their back and their front and their side. So while the smoke is there, once that smoke goes away, that Reyna is going to kind of have full reign here. And we see that as JXST finds one, Sir Nugget finds one, JhenFN finds one as well. One is found. A little bit of a phase to try and find more. Second one is found. Phase out once again. They do see the half mark go out, but unfortunately not able to secure that round. And we are now again tied up at 9-9 and a solid save round, I believe, for the Brebeuf team. I know I saw a classic in there somewhere. I'm not sure how much of a save it was compared to the prior round, but now they are going to have a decent amount of eco to work with to try and go into this again with more rifles and a few less rifles as well, because not everybody has perfect eco to buy rifles and shields. So we'll see what ends up happening here. But right now it seems like the Hobart team is slowly wrapping towards B, maybe sticking out to go for like a bit of a default here, not necessarily picking one way or the other. But yeah, it seems like more of a split. Less of a default, but I think more of a split. They do, again, start to hold doors here. The flash does go out. It finds somebody, but the Reyna can't find exactly who had flashed. So she falls back just a little bit. And while some do have their rifles at the ready, others do have something closer to a sheriff. And so we're going to see what ends up happening as they slowly move out here and move past doors. They do see the TP go out. And if that is taken, it's unlikely that Yoru is going to live for very long. The flash goes out, so does the TP. The dog is found, but he doesn't really have a gun to his name, and so likely going to be caught out. Chill for Real finds one. The flash goes out, but is taken down by the thorns. We see the ult from the sky come out, and the rest of the team collapses on to the Hobart side, and Hobart is now in a bit of a deficit as they lose that round, giving Brebeuf the lead once again as we flip back and forth here. And so now Brebeuf does have the eco they need to hopefully take this all the way to the end. Hobart is now probably going to have to go for a bit of a save, or no, never mind, they get to go for a buy. Sorry, they saved last round. We have both sides now having rifles, although at this point, it's kind of anybody's game in terms of eco. Both are very close, although I think if Brebeuf loses this round, they do have enough to buy for next, even if they lose. But compared to Hobart, if they lose this round, I'm expecting them to have to go for a full save. But we are looking now at the Hobart team slowly move closer to B. They do hear a lot of the util come out, which does allow for the Brebeuf team to slowly wrap around and go for a bit of a regroup. We see the ult from the Yoru come out as well. Chill for Real finds one. Can he find any more? No. Rusty Boy trades out onto JXST. Set to 14 health here at the current moment. Chill for Real does end up finding one, as well as JhenFN, and now it is a 4v2, but Noodleman is able to find one. Can they find more? That is the question to be answered. They're wrapping around towards Pillar here. JhenFN is able to find one as well. Low on health and behind the Pillar and going to be trapped by a lot of players, and Sir Nugget cleans that one out, bringing this one to 11 and 9. And now as we quickly and preparedly go into the next round yet again, it seems like we're going to see a save come out, probably from Hobart or possibly a force, but we'll have to see. It's likely that they might go for a save here and then buy for next, as if they lose this, it will be match point and they'll have to try and work around that with a full buy. So they're most likely going to save here, maybe go for a bit of a half buy or a possible buy for next, but we'll see what ends up happening. Now, quickly going into this round here, it seems like they are closing in on the A site, and so as they eventually will probably hear noise, because Hobart hasn't been too necessarily quiet in their assaults on the sites themselves, they'll most likely wrap back around eventually. It seems like that's what the Brebeuf team is doing at the current moment, as they see nobody on B long, and they haven't had any info from the jump peaks. We see the ult come out from the Vise as well. Spike going to go down into the corner there. The Thorns blocking them off as well. We try to see if anybody is able to find a pick early on into this fight. It doesn't seem like anything has been found just yet. Spike is slowly ticking down. That 45-second timer is going against their favor. We're going to see what ends up happening as Noodleman finds one. The blind does go out, which stops them from finding any more. JXST finds one. Blink finds one. Abyss is able to trade off as well, bringing this to a 3v3, although the KJ is hurt pretty bad here. They're trying to hold main best they can, but they don't actually know where the spike is. We see one as they come out of the door there. They've tried to find it best they can. They do have the time to take this one away, and Brebeuf is going to bring this one to 9 and 12, bringing us to match point.
Match point.
Looking at the eco here, I was correct in terms of them going for a little bit of a buy for next situation. We are seeing the second timeout come from Hobart Valley here, but looking at the eco, this is going to be a relatively fair round, although at the current moment, I think Brebeuf has the eco remaining in their bank to take them all the way, even into overtime if it happens. Although at this point, right now, the only thing that that Hobart can hope for is taking it to overtime, because they are at 12. They can't actually win now without going into overtime, and so at the current moment, that's what they're trying to aim for, is to shut them down, take them away from that possible 13 victory over top of them. And again, this is the second game, and if Brebeuf wins this one, they do win the best of 3, which does make them the champions in this game in general. So we'll see what ends up happening here. I think this is going to be a pretty close one, because again, both these teams seem to be very confident in their abilities. They just seem to be having different timings and different luck when it comes to how they play different scenarios, and unfortunately it's just been going in Brebeuf's favor in these situations, and so I'm sure that Hobart Valley is trying their best to fight this one out, but Brebeuf again does have enough util and enough eco to full buy for most likely the rest of the game itself, unless they lose 3 in a row. But in that point, if they lose 3 in a row, it doesn't really matter, because they'll go to OT and it will give them a ton of money anyways, and all of their abilities and whatnot. Ults are on the table from both sides. Brebeuf does have the Omen, the Jet, and the Reyna ult. We see from Hobart the Astra ult, and they do have the Reyna ult as well, though that hasn't been popped just yet. Spike is not down just yet, although it is allowing them to move a little bit further. We see the Yoru able to find 1 onto JXST, try to spray through the smoke, see if they can't find anything themselves, but nothing is found just yet. Spike is going to go down here.
Spike planted.
And right now, Brebeuf has got to try and find a way back onto site. They can expect that a lot of Hobart will be back site, and if they can take them out while focusing on the guys at the front as well, they should be in a good spot. JhenFN is able to find 1, but Rusty Boy trades out onto them themselves. Plink is able to find 1 as well, and can they keep it going? It's a 4v2 in this situation. SirNug is able to find 1, but so does Plink as they trade out yet again, and Abyss now does not really have much they can do as WCE cleans that one out and brings us to 10-12.
Deep breaths, everyone. Your hearts are pounding.
All right, and moving on yet again, we are closing in on the match point. We're still here, so right now Hobart Valley has got to keep it going, keep the streak alive, but they don't really have a lot of money to work with, unfortunately. They're just going to have to buy for each other at this point, but if they can keep the streak alive, that'll be good for them. It's likely that JhenFN is going to hold Belong with an op, which it seems like they're doing compared to the Hobart Valley. It seems to be peaking that. 1 is going to fall to JhenFN, and the rest of them are probably going to back off now, which does put them in a bit of a disadvantage, especially seeing Yoru is relatively is completely actually their only flasher compared to Reyna's flash, although that's more of a blind, less a flash. At the current moment, they are closing in closer to mid here. Thorns are going to go out onto door. Jet is chilling in Art. Can she get out in time? Do they know she's there? The blind is going to go out, but they do try to find her, try to pick her off. She is going to go ahead and get escaped, though, and able to find an exit. Nothing is really found, though, else from the rest of this. And the rest of them are slowly moving on. JhenFN able to find another one. Abyss is able to find 1 as well. JhenFN finds a 3rd, and there's only 1 member left against the 5 members of Brebeuf. Can they keep this one alive with only 45 seconds left? Running out of time to work with, as they do also have Spike, and the rest of them are just going to hold a major cross against where they expect the Vise to be at this point. And so with only 30 seconds left, it's highly unlikely that they're able to secure any kind of a win here, because the rest of them are just holding literally every angle, and the second they see them, they're just going to pop out. They are able to find 1, but JhenFN finishes it off with a 4K with the op and secures them the game, and they are now winners. That's it. Best of 3. So well done to both teams. That was a great fight, although unfortunately 1 does have to lose, and in that situation it was Hobart. But congratulations to Brebeuf in their victory. And while it is unfortunate that you do lose sometimes, this is the nature of the game, and the only thing you can do is get better, and that's something you've got to learn, and it's something that happens everywhere. You got to get better, you got to fight for your best, and I think really you've just got to practice, and that's what you do in everyday life. It's not even just gaming. You've got to fight for everything you do, and well, we are going to go ahead and just call a break there as we go into game number 3 total. I believe we only have 3. It will be here shortly. I don't know exactly what time, but again, if you want to go ahead and watch another stream, I believe the Indiana Esports stream is still ongoing with, I think it's either Fortnite or Smash, or possibly Rocket League. I forget which one they're actually streaming now because I think they were streaming Fortnite last I checked, but we will see you right after this break.